There's the comments. We're live. Hello, everyone.
We're not live on Facebook.
We're not live on Facebook?
Nope.
You sure?
Oh, here we go. You know we are now.
Yep. So, hi, everyone. So, live show here at Winger Subaru. Thank you, Winger Subaru, you lovely people. It's getting my car service. They've built this awesome new service bay.
It's pretty
You've seen
flash.
it? It's like flash. It's all these
Yeah.
hoists everywhere. It's like being in, I don't know, it's like being in a sci-fi movie, really.
It is. It's super flash inside.
Super modern.
Yeah, drive inside, park inside. They've got a real nice cafe there too, so they make you a coffee while you're waiting.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Yeah, the real professional setup, here at Winger Subaru.
Really, really good.
And so let's talk about fishing anyway.
Yeah, that's what we're
So
here for,
I have been, I've been a bit slack lately, Arnie, so I haven't done that much office work. And the reason is because I just got to go fishing because it's such a good time of year for what I do, which is in the shallows, chasing the anchovies around. It's just so much, it's incredible fun. What's happening around Auckland right now, like the amount of anchovies around is phenomenal. There's just clouds of them. And, I was with a guy the other day and he thought one of the anchovy balls was a rock. Like, slow the boat down, that's a rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's how thick they are. And so I've just been having a ball, mate.
Yeah, I saw you took Mark out in
Took Mark out.
But you got all those anchovies underwater, eh?
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, and anchovies underwater. And we've downsized our baits and we use the Tansui rod.
Yep.
And it's just been some of the best fishing days I've had, actually.
Oh, wow.
And I'm only catching snapper like that big.
Yeah.
And it's still like so much fun. Just chasing these anchovies around in the shallows, casting little lures out and just getting peeled, man.
So you're saying I should take a day off work and go fishing?
Nah, mate.
Oh, bugger. Worth a try, eh?
Yeah. But what I'm discovering is there's so much bait around that you do have to muck around with your lures a little bit. Like the other day, I started off with what did I start off with? A slim swim, which normally does really well.
Yep.
Not a touch, mate.
Oh, really?
No.
Too big?
So I was a 2.5. So then I went to a bigger one, the new 3.
Oh, well, yeah.
Slim swim. Didn't work that well. Once again, went to the TRD minnow and instantly started smashing them. So because there's so much bait around, you do need to muck around with colours and lures until you know one that they're taking. Because if you think about it, there's just food all around them. And so why would they bite your lure? So it has to be something really appealing to them. And so you've got to rig it well, secret sauce, light leader, light braid. You can't do microbaiting on your soft bait rods. I get this question all the time. You can try, but there's no way you can cast these lures on your soft bait rod. It's just not going to work. So what you do, and another good strategy I've discovered lately, Arnie, is when these anchovies are all spread out in a bay and they can go any direction, it doesn't seem to be that good of a bite. But when you're in that situation, if you get your binoculars out and look around the coastlines, even if you just see a couple of seagulls working near the rocks, that signals that there's a ball of bait trapped against the rocks. So if you can find that situation, that's where the hot action is.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was pretty much casting onto the beach the other day, and there was big kingfish there as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like big ones. Like in, that deeper water, you can see them, and the water's clear, and you can see them, and you cast them, and they come and get it. It's just like the most fun you'll have. And so my strategy for targeting anchovies has been developing this season, where my Haswing just comes into play all the time, where I chase after these anchovies. So I find them against the rocks, and they actually move really, if you start watching them and following them, they actually move really fast, hugging the coastline, because the fish are on the outside of them, so they can't go out. So they just burn along. Just burn along the coastline.
Yeah.
And so they're there 1 minute, gone the next. So if you can chase after them, not with your outboard because it's too shallow, with your Haswing, you can just have the most fun ever.
Work it.
Yeah, really good fun.
I was just thinking about when you said about you had the slim swims on and it didn't work. You went from the 2-inch or 2.5 to the 3, and then you went to the TRD minnow.
Yeah.
Wonder if the minnow, because it's got that real small tail, it hasn't got as much action.
Yeah.
And so it looks like to a predator, this thing hasn't got much fight, so it's going to be an easier meal.
I think that's, I've been in Japan speaking to some of the Z-Man people over there, and like some of the lures they design. They call them like, what do they call them? Still or no action lures, or
like
still lures.
Like the Ned rigging.
Well, you don't need to do anything. You just cast out and don't do anything.
Yeah, look like
and
a stick.
anything with a TRD in it, that's designed not to be worked or retrieved very fast. It's just sit it on the bottom.
Yeah.
And that just seems to be working here in New Zealand as well now.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
which I never thought it would work because they're just such unassuming shapes.
Yeah, well, they don't look like much, do they?
Nah,
they don't
just
look
looks like a stick of plastic,
but
basically.
Yeah, it's so popular over there.
Yeah. So if anyone's got any questions as we go through, fire away. I guess we're going to get asked where the anchovies are. They move. So I've only discovered, so I'm learning fishing all the time. I discovered this on our last trip because I've never had the equipment to follow a school of anchovies in like 200 or 300 mil of water until I've had the Haswing.
Yep.
So now, once I've chased them, now I know that they don't hang around, man. They're just zooming around. So you can go to a spot one day and it's full of anchovies. You can go the next day and they're gone. And that's because they're moving. They're just hugging the coastline, moving around the coast.
Well.
So, don't expect the place that I go, I might say, go here, guys. It's a bit different than workup. So an hour later, they can be gone.
Yep.
So you really have to find them yourself. Northern side of Rangitoto, Motuhi around there, Waiheke around Spray Rock, Army Bay, northern side of Whangaparoa Peninsula, off Mangawhai, off the big sand dune, off Waipu Cove, all of those shallow areas when they're all moving in from the north. So any areas facing north, with a trap, that's where you should start looking. Look for bait traps. Look on your charts for actual bait traps facing north. And that's where I tend to find them the most.
And look for those birds you said.
And look for those birds. Even seagulls. Yep. Even seagulls will do it.
Yep.
And the other day, it was just like 3 shags just sitting really close to the rocks, just diving all the time. What's going on there? They were just, so there was a big ball of anchovies just about washed into a rock pool, and these shags were just dipping down and getting a mouthful every time. And that's where I hooked a big kingy, mate.
Yep.
And they weren't touching stick baits though.
They were?
No, they weren't.
Oh, the kingies were.
I was watching big kingies. They were just following the stick baits and then turning away at the last minute.
Right.
As soon as I put down a little TRD, it was like instant.
Yeah.
Instant. So, it's a bit of a game though, because you're in shallow water with microbait. It's you feel a bit sorry for the fish sometimes.
Yeah.
Peter Orden, any workups out wide? I've just spoken to a few of the guys out there, and it's been pretty slow out wide, mate. It's not really that time of year where you get the pilchard workups, because remember, they don't like water that's too hot. Anything over 18, 19 degrees, they don't really like it. So, you're up to like 22 out there. There's some anchovy workups I've heard around the Happy Jacks. So there'll be the kahawai feeding on the anchovies, no dolphins or gannets, and then underneath you can often get snapper. So I wouldn't go right this time of year chasing gannet workups. I just wouldn't do it. No. But I'd certainly chase the anchovy workups, which can be out wider, but just look against coastlines and just start thinking they hit the coast and then they burn down the coastline.
Yeah, well, they all want that protection, don't they?
They want that protection. Yeah. So some guys are using sliders and fish fingers, and these kind of workouts. I'm doing well. I'm just doing the small light stuff because I like that enjoyment of fishing the shallows and getting peeled out. And I'm going to make a video soon of the essentials for microbaiting. And the number one thing is the rod and the size of the lure. Yep. You've got to have one of these rods, guys. You can't do it with your soft bait rod because you can only, if you try and cast like a 3/16 lure with a little slim swim on with your soft bait rod, it's only going to flop over. You'll be lucky if you got 10 meters.
Well, the Tansui is rated 1 to 7 grams, so it's designed specifically for those lighter jigs. And also, Peter, you're asking also, do the TRD minnows work deeper? I mean, if you can get them down for sure, but I mean, the biggest sort of is 3/16. I think is the largest we do in the micro finesse jig head.
Yes.
Because they're such a small profile bait. The hooks that we use or the jig heads we use don't have the ribs on them to hold the bait. They've got a really small wire keeper, so it doesn't blow the bait out. So you haven't got as much weight to them either, and they're quite a slim profile.
Okay.
So,
I see, Peter, you've bought a Tansui. Thanks, mate. So you want to start staying inshore, Pete. Forget about chasing those workups out wide for a bit, and you need really and you have to have good quality braid. Yeah. So I've got it's hard to find. Some of the shops have got this real high quality Japanese braid. It'll cost you a bit more, but it's worth it. And I'm using 10 pound. And then for my leader, it's 10 to 12 pound. Yep. 12 pound maximum I'm using, and that once again has to be the high quality Japanese kind of pink type of fluorocarbon. And then the jig heads, they've got to be the small ones, mate. They've got to be the micro finesse, highs and TRD minnows, you have that set up and stay inshore, mate. You're going to have a great day. And you have to chase it. You do chase them around a bit like workups, because now I've discovered that anchovies move around a lot very quickly. So you do have to chase them around, but you don't need to go past the noisies, Pete. Just stay inshore and get that tansui rigged up light. And the first thing this is what normally happens. So people start fishing light, and then they might bend a hook or something, because it's not like what they're used to, like a big jig hook. You got to accept that's part of the game.
You fish light
as soon as you start whacking your size, your gear up again, you're not micro-baiting, you're just soft baiting. So keep it light. You're going to bend a few hooks now and then. You're probably going to get a few bust-offs now and then on big kingies. But you can land good-sized fish as well. And so you can't go up into a thick gauge hook, because when you strike with this light gear, there's not enough power on the other end to drive the hook through the fish's mouth. So this is why we have to use these thin gauged hooks to get the penetration. If we could make a jig head with a thick gauge hook, but I've tested this, but your hookup rate goes down.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
it goes down.
Yeah,
and that's why the hooks that are getting the most hookups are the thinnest ones. But like the light gauge marlin guys,
exactly.
Bonds and all those guys, how they've gone right down in the size of their hooks. They're getting crazy hookup rates, but occasionally the hooks get bent. So it's the same kind of scenario as that. So you get way more hookups. Occasionally you'll get a hook failure or something, but they don't often get off. It's usually when you pliers and pull it out, you bend it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that's most of the time,
That's pretty much how it all works.
And is this fishing light drag too? So
light drag.
You don't want heavy drag. I mean, and as you're saying about the anchovies moving quickly, the tansui can cast so far.
Yeah, and you need to strike, Pete, as well. And another good strategy I'm using is, if the little soft baits don't work, is get a 14-gram flea and put that on your tansui, and that can cast a country mile. So when these anchovies are moving really fast, and you might catch up to them, you get one cast and they're gone. If you put a little 14-gram flea on, you can cast that like a country mile, and you can, if they're a bit further away, you can still reach them. So that's what I do, and just go look between the lighthouse and Rakino on the northern side there, Pete, and just get your binoculars out. Same deal as the workups. Just look for those birds. When you see the birds, go to them. When you see the birds against the rocks or against the beach, that is the prime situation to fish these anchovies. Sometimes you'll just see some birds sitting on the rocks or on the beach. You'll see a group of birds. So why are those birds sitting on the rocks in that particular area? It's because there's anchovies there and they're just waiting for them to come up again. So once again, it's all about the bait and the birds. Find those and you can have a great day.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. What else, Arnie?
I haven't been doing too much sea fishing because I've been working, mate, but we did go to the lake over Waitangi weekend. With the wife and kids.
Oh, yeah.
And got on some really good fish down there.
Yeah.
So the trout fishing and the freshwater fishing is going really well at the moment too.
Yeah, and you were telling me about a particular bait that was working the other day.
Yeah, it was the Calico Candy Slim Swim. So my son got a 8-pound rainbow out of Tawera on it.
Oh, nice.
My wife got a real good one, and then my mate who was there on his boat, his son was like, I want to go fishing. So I gave him my rod. He got his license online, did that.
Yep.
I gave him my rod with that same bait, dropped it down, into it straight away.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's been going really well.
Yeah.
Even the guys in the South Island have been going good on them.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, the Calico Candy, which is like a red colour with a bit of fleck in it, like a dark black fleck in it.
Yep.
Been fishing really, really well.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I might go fishing next week, eh?
We might go fishing.
Might go for a freshwater fish.
Yeah, we'll go
down
there.
That could be fun.
We'll have a little comp, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take my boat, your boat.
I beat you last time, didn't I?
Shit, no. But no, it could be a bit of fun, go down to the lake for a couple of days.
Here's a question from Aaron. Question may have been asked, if the anchovies lighthouse or rangi or mudhee, they're everywhere, mate. They're everywhere in the shallows, so you just got to find them. Just drive around and find them. And once you find them, you'll be in. No worry, Pete. You're a good fan, mate, so anytime. Yeah, get a tansui. Yep, Sam, get a tansui. Calico Candy goes very well. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating to see people trying to microbait with their soft bait rod.
Oh, 100%
because they're just wasting their time. It's not going to work, and they're going to say, "Oh, this doesn't work." You can't use your soft bait rods, guys. Once you see a tansui, you understand why. It's heaps lighter, and you can cast a little tiny lure 1,000,000 miles. That's why you have to use them.
Yeah. And you've also got to remember too, your line weight and leader weight the heavier you go, it's going to create a lot more drag in the water, and you're trying to pull or get a little bait down. You've got all this extra resistance in the water, so it's not going to sink as quickly or as freely as it needs to. So going as light as you can, less resistance in the water. I fish 8-pound braid and then a 10-pound leader. So just to fish really, really light and light drag. So it's just, everything's micro.
And another kind of vital component of this fishing, and it's kind of developing, and I'm learning myself how to do it well, is the electric trolling motor.
Oh, yes.
It's like, that has, I remember when I first got my boat, I just didn't really want one. I said, that looks ugly. But now I'm using it. I'm using it all the time, man. And I've got a Haswing from Lusty and Blundell, thanks guys, and it hasn't missed a beat, mate. I know it's quite a lot more economical to buy than some of the other brands, but I've had no issues with it at all.
And they last forever too.
It's been great. Yeah. It's been an absolute wonderful piece of machinery that I've put on my boat, and I don't like things that break, and it hasn't broken. So thanks you guys at Lusty, especially Liam, mate. Thanks for helping me out. And the other thing he's put on my boat, which is an absolute game changer as well, is the new relief shading charts. So these charts, you can see all the rocks on the bottom, but you know how you've got a normal chart and you go over, say, a pin or something and it doesn't show up on your sounder? It's like not quite there. Well, this new chart is bang on the money every time. You pull up to a rock on your chart, you can see it, and then your sounder lights up with the rock and the fish. And you don't have to spend any time searching. And in close, you'll start, what interested me is some of my tracks I've been drifting, catching fish, and then I've put this new chart on. They're actually on edges of reefs that I never knew were there, or maybe down the side of a rock or something like that, and that's where I'm marking where I'm catching fish.
Oh, awesome.
So this has opened up, you know, the Haswing and relief shading charts. Man, it's opened up a whole new world, man. It's like ridiculous how much this new equipment, having a trolling motor and the new charts, can make a difference to your fishing.
Oh, the trolling motor is a game changer,
It's just so good.
Yeah,
I just love it.
Fish. Yeah, hold you on the spot too.
Hold you on the spot. I just have it out all the time now. Yeah, really good. Probably not so good for the handbrake sales, but good for the boys at Lusty and Blundell.
They're good for out wide when it's getting quite windy and you get them blowing around a bit.
It takes a bit of getting used to because sometimes you have to fish with your boat on the move. You know, some people say, I can't fish like that, you know, I've got to be drifting with the wind. But once you start adjusting your angles you're casting to, start getting used to a boat that might be moving slowly in fishing, you can do it.
Yeah, and they're really good for wash fishing. Just like
wash
soft baiting in the wash, because you can literally drive right in, hold it in there, cast in without having your motor in and out of gear trying to hold you in there. It makes it so much easier.
So if anyone's interested in like a Haswing, just get hold of Liam at Lusty and Blundell, and he'll tell you how to go and, you know, how to purchase one, definitely. Put you onto one of his retailers, I'd imagine.
Yep, for sure.
And so go and see Liam, man. He's the man when it comes to Haswings and the charts.
Can G-bombs and jelly babies still work around anchovies?
Yep. They can. Some people, especially with kids and stuff, they'll still work. Some people say they work really well. I'm just going to my little tiny boats because I'm just into this light tackle at the moment. But they will work. Just drag them around the anchovies and you'll pick up fish for sure.
The snapper are going to be there feeding on the anchovies, so they're going to take the little G-bomb.
What else? Paul, you should come down south and abuse the canals. Yeah, I'd love to, mate.
Yeah, I might head back down again this year and go fish with
I'd like to do
Jordan.
That, I really like that fresh salmon,
Well, you've got those little samples from Niku. You showed me those little eggs.
Oh, little smelly eggs.
Yeah, they stink.
Got these smelly egg things that I'm going to try. You guys might have noticed that there's a new brand here as well. So it's been a long time coming, and it's a bit of a slow process to get this brand happening. But you can see we've got the Grundon's brand.
Yep, we've got the Grundon shirts.
We do have the Grundon's brand. We've got the first kind of bits and pieces that are coming in. We're going to, get a few hats. We're going to start selling a few hats soon, probably a few T-shirts, things like that, just to get started, to get the brand out there. And especially for you bluefin tuna guys in winter time, man, they got some serious... really good-looking, warm gear because it's designed for commercial fishing in North Pole kind of deal.
Well,
Sweden, North Pole.
Not quite,
not
but
quite
anyway.
the North Pole,
but
but in those real cold temperatures. So they got some very cool tech gear. So jackets that aren't thick and bulky but super warm.
Yeah,
things like that.
Bib overalls, jackets, and go from like real lightweight, as you were saying, to like full, like real thick. Commercial grade stuff for the guys that are working out on the...
and real cool designs, you look to check the hat out. Pretty cool designs. Don't know if that sticker's supposed to be on the front, probably not.
No, you're never.
Although my kids reckon you have to keep the sticker on all your hats, so who knows, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. Pretty cool brand.
Yep, definitely. So you keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah. Any questions?
Uh,
So far away if you got any questions, guys. Because
so it's not.
what about the weather, Arnie? So let's have a. I can't get it to work on my computer today.
Oh yeah. So tomorrow, low tides at 8 a.m.
Low tides at 8 a.m. So
high tide at 25 past 2.
So you're going to get a little time. You're going to get a real short bite early in the morning. If you got up at say 5 a.m. and fish from 6 till 8, you'll get that last bit of the outgoing tide bite, which is usually pretty good. And then you'll probably get a bite when it first starts again. Then I'd say in the middle of the day till about 12, it might be a bit slower. And then again, and leading up to 2 p.m, you should get another bite. And then again, as the sun's going down, another bite then. So those would be the 3 bite times. It looks like you can go wherever you want.
It's going to be out in the Gulf. You're looking at about 1-2 knots at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m.
Yeah.
3 knots.
So she's at Minter tomorrow.
Yeah, right in the middle of 1 knot. It's going to be.
Where should you go?
Absolute perler.
Yeah. Where should you go? Stay local. East Coast Bays, Rangitoto, Marahi. And then you also Kawakawa Bay.
Yep.
Down there's going to be loaded with anchovies all along that coastline. And you can even pop over to like the Cow and Calf, those islands. They often hold a lot of anchovies as well if you want to go on a bit of a mission. Army Bay, Oriwa, or Oriwa, sorry, my pronunciation there. We're about between Saddle Island and Motuora, through there, around the Beehive, around there. All these places should be like loaded with anchovies. If you see a big brown thing in the water, that's bait. Some people don't know what it looks like, but if you see something that looks in the water and it's a big brown thing, and you think it's a rock or some seaweed, just check it out. It might be a ball of anchovies.
Awesome. And then Sunday's looking just as good as well. So you're looking at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Top of the Firth is 0 knots.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really good day on the water.
Yeah. And I went fishing with my mate Mark on Monday, I think it was, and she had a really epic session in the anchovies. He's right into this type of fishing as well. So if you want to go see him, he's at North Shore Hunting and Fishing. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's got all the gear there ready to sell. So if you did want to get into microbaiting, a lot of the shops have got it. Mark's pretty good on it as well. There's lots of other shops. I don't want to get myself in trouble by just mentioning one shop, but most of them have got the good stuff now. But it's a Tansui rod is what you want. So mate, give them a call first. Make sure you've got the Tansui rod if you want one, because that is the vital component to this fishing.
Definitely. And if you want to up your game again, you can get the Tansui Crossfire.
Or get the Tansui. So there's 2 models of Tansui now. There's the first one we did, and that's how much does that retail for?
300.
About $300. And then we've got a new one, which is a different construction technique, crisper, lighter, high quality, and that's $350 or something.
360. Yes.
$360.
Yeah, so that's made out of the crossfire weave, so it's all like intertwined that way. Only weighs 100 grams.
Yeah.
Real light.
So and then you need a small reel as well. You need 2,500. I wouldn't go any bigger than that.
No.
And the very light, high quality braid and very light, high quality fluorocarbon. You can't use any cheap stuff for this type of fishing. You've got to have the good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I actually use the Hyperglide. It's quite a really nice braid.
Yeah. All right, people. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. We're always here to answer your questions. Just fire through messages on Facebook, Instagram. We're here to help. We want to see you guys catch fish. That's why we like sharing how to, where to, when to, because we want you to have a good time. So, catch you all. We'll do another live show in a couple of weeks. But I'm going to be
I might not be here for that. Oh, I might be here.
You might be.
I'm off to the South Island. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And so I'll be out Saturday and Sunday chasing anchovies. Flick us all a message if you need some advice. So we'll catch you all later.
See you guys.
See ya.